Good evening. This is QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Keraba Avenue, and I am Ashma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. Yankuba Colley, the former mayor of Kanifing Municipality, was laid to rest today, Monday the 16th of September. The former mayor died on Monday the 11th of September in Istanbul, Turkey, where he had been receiving medical treatment. At a day-long engagement on sustainable financing for tobacco control in the Gambia, some National Assembly members called for an embargo on tobacco importation in the country. Lamin King Colley, Commissioner of the Mobile Traffic Unit, is calling on road users to follow basic road safety rules, interventions and precautions to prevent accidents on our roads. The International Trade Center and the United Nations Population Fund and partners officially inaugurated the Mansakonko Hospitality Training Center. And a Gambian woman believed to be over 100 years old has re-encountered her life story, living in both in the 20th and 21st centuries. Those and other stories coming up, so stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Yankuba Colley, the former mayor of Kanifing Municipality, was laid to rest today, Monday the 16th of September. The former mayor died on Monday the 11th of September in Istanbul, Turkey, where he had been receiving medical treatment. More in this report.
The late former mayor of Kanifing Municipal Council, KMC, was laid to rest in his birthplace, Talinding, at 2 p.m. following a funeral service at his home. A huge crowd gathered to pay their last respects and say a final farewell to a man who touched the lives of many. Yankuba Colley, who once held the title of National Mobilizer for the APRC party, served as mayor of KMC from 2008 to 2018. Born to Amaranding Colley of Talinding Kunjang and Fatunjai of Essel village, Colley's roots were deeply embedded in his community. After starting his education in Banjul and later enrolling in a computer science course in England, Colley dedicated a decade of his life to the Gambia Police Force, where he rose to the rank of first-class constable. His journey in public service continued as the Councillor of Talinding South before stepping up as acting mayor in 2007. Officially elected in 2008, he led the KMC for 10 years, remembered for his commitment to leadership and community development. In a 2017 interview with the Standard newspaper, when asked what he left behind at KMC, he remarked, and I quote, "I am leaving KMC that did not solve the garbage problem, but equally, I am leaving KMC with big hope that there will be more development." End of quote. Following the news of his death, President Barrow put out a statement describing Colley's death as a great loss to the Gambia. And he praised the former mayor for his selfless service to the people of Kanifing Municipality, as well as the nation at large. These sentiments were echoed by other mourners at the funeral, and after the burial, who also praised Colley's kindness, peaceful nature, and his humility. These speakers say Colley's contributions to the municipality, his leadership, and his dedication to public service has left an indelible mark on the KMC and its people. Attendees at his burial included several cabinet ministers, Colley's successor as mayor of KMC, and several other dignitaries. The public also lined the streets to pay their respect as his mortal remains were taken for burial. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Igwenyuba.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. Now, in other news, at a day-long engagement on sustainable financing for tobacco control in the Gambia, some National Assembly members called for an embargo on tobacco importation in the Gambia. As we hear in this report by QTV's Ansumana Isonyasi, officials of the Ministry of Health are advocating, among other things, an increase on tobacco levy.
The Gambia is widely praised for its efforts to curb the use of tobacco through the institution of legal instruments such as the Prohibition of No Smoking in Public Places Act of 1998, Prohibition of Tobacco Advertisement Bill 2003, and the ratification of the protocol to ban illicit trade in tobacco products in 2016 and others. However, despite these achievements, officials of the Non-Communicable Diseases Unit at the Ministry of Health said there is a need for more investment in the tobacco control advocacy to help solidify gains registered over the years. Dr. Mamoudou Nyasi, Acting Director of Health Services, and Omar Baji, Program Manager for Non-Communicable Diseases, who also doubles as the focal person for tobacco control in the Gambia, present their case before parliamentarians. They report that $551 million is spent on tobacco monthly in the Gambia. The current national prevalence of tobacco use is reported to be at 16.7%, and the average Gambian, as revealed by their survey, smokes at least 10 sticks of cigarette daily.
Tobacco is one of the very negative or strong contribution of NCDs in this country. We have so many NCDs, and these are all preventable diseases. And how can we do as a country to make sure that we reduce the NCDs burdens in this country?
We want you people to support us, to help us, and when the budget comes and we don't see anything like reflecting regarding the increment of those levy is still 50 budget, how best can you support us at your level to trigger the discussion so that at least it can be a little bit increased and also to get the 50%.
Following their presentations on the current tobacco control situation in the Gambia, parliamentarians expressed support for the National Tobacco Control Drive. However, some NAMs took it even further, demanding for an embargo on tobacco importation and called for an increase on the current tobacco levy.
If we are spending all this money on tobacco, I think as a nation we really have to sit back and revisit or see what we can do next.
My belief is there should be a total embargo on tobacco importation in this country. Why? Because cannabis is being outlawed in this country. And I believe the same thing also can be applied to tobacco usage in our country.
I think I will concord with the honorable member for Lower Badibu that tobacco should be totally banned. Because it doesn't make any sense when you are collecting a revenue of $450 million and you are losing over $6 billion annually.
When you go out, you see people smoking in the midst of crowd. And we say that this is a very dangerous thing. I think, to me, we still need to sensitize people about the danger of tobacco.
Health officials also reported a noticeable increase in the number of school children smoking sisa, which they say is equally harmful. They encourage Parliament to ensure its ban. While they advocate for more and sustainable investment towards tobacco control, they also invite NAMs to pay close attention to other NCDs such as hypertension. The Gambia received the WHO 2021 World No Tobacco Day Award for its achievements in tobacco control. However, to ensure sustainability, health officials are encouraging Parliament to engage relevant authorities to provide them with sufficient support. Ansmane Sonyasi, Foki TV News.
Lamin King Colley, the Commissioner of the Mobile Traffic Unit, is calling on road users to follow basic road safety rules, interventions and precautions to prevent accidents on our roads and save lives. He was speaking to QTV's Lena Iugeniba.
In his birthplace, standing at 2 p.m. following a funeral service at his home. A huge crowd gathered to pay their last respects and say a final farewell to a man who touched the lives of many. Yankuba Colley, who once held the title of National Mobilizer for the APRC party, served as mayor of KMC from 2008 to 2018. Born to Amaranding Colley of Talinding Kunjang and Fatunjai of Essel village, Colley's roots were deeply embedded in his community. After starting his education in Banjul and later enrolling in a computer science course in England, Colley dedicated a decade of his life to the Gambia Police Force, where he rose to the rank of first-class constable.
Ready to jumpstart your tech career? At IIHT Gambia Limited, we offer a variety of in-demand courses to equip you with essential skills for the tech industry. Our programs include Diploma in Information Technology and Cybersecurity, Cisco Certified Network Associate and Network Professional, Advanced Diploma in Software Development, Diploma in Multimedia, Graphic Design and Digital Marketing, Diploma in Database Administration and Technical Support. Whether you're starting your IT journey or looking to advance your career, our expert instructors and hands-on learning will prepare you for success. Don't wait. Enroll today and transform your future. Call us at 701968 or 3464161 or visit us at 55 Kairaba Avenue, adjacent to the U.S. Embassy, Fajara, Kanifing Municipality. Learn more at www.ihtgambia.gm. IIHT Gambia Limited, connecting talent to opportunity.
Q Money and Orange Money has just made money transfer easier. Now you can send money from Gambia to Senegal directly from your Q Money wallet. So what are you waiting for? Get your Q Money account now and start sending money to your friends and families through Orange Money in Senegal now. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the future of transportation in the Gambia. The Bertil Harding Highway, a 22-kilometer double carriageway, is set to revolutionize travel and connectivity in our beloved country. The Bertil Harding Highway is transforming transportation in the Gambia with new roundabouts and vehicular overpasses. But safety must come first. Standing along the road or at roundabouts to flag down taxis creates unsafe conditions and unnecessary traffic jams. Remember, always board taxis at designated taxi garages or the garas located at major traffic points. Drivers stopping in no stopping zones will be penalized. Let's keep our roads clear and safe. Together, we can ensure a safe and efficient journey for all.
We apologize for that. The news continues. The International Trade Center, ITC, and the United Nations Population Fund and partners officially inaugurated the Mansakonko Hospitality Training Center. Our regional correspondent, Bakari Balde, attended the event and he filed in this report.
This training center in rural Gambia seeks to equip young people with the skills to boost their employability while improving service delivery in the hospitality and tourism industry. The center will offer courses such as cookery, room services, and food and beverage management. Sidi Lamin Ba, the governor of Lower River Region, applauded the government of the Gambia for creating the enabling environment and outlined the significance of tourism in the socio-economic development of the country.
The Tourism and Hospitality Center is very important in its that tourism plays a vital role in the economic development of this nation. It is very apt and very important that this topic or this project comes here, because looking at our youth today, a lot of them are migrating to Europe using the back way. And why is it important? It retains skills in the country.
Mohamedou Sise, the chairman of Basse Area Council, who doubles as the president of the Gambia Association of Local Government Authorities, Galga, and Landin B. Sane, the chairman of Mansakonko Area Council, emphasized the impact of the project on rural communities.
As we inaugurate this facility today, we are not merely opening doors, but we are unlocking potentials. The Mansakonko Hospitality Training will serve as a hub of learning and innovation, where individuals can acquire skills needed to thrive in the hospitality sector and beyond.
The ultimate goal was to see how we absorb the shock that the advent of the bridge will cause to the young people and women that were particularly selling at the ferry crossing point. And this project is come here to address that.
Carl Frederick Paul, the UN resident coordinator, highlights the commitment of the UN agencies in the Gambia.
The United Nations collective effort are aimed at supporting the Gambians in its pursuit of sustainable development and of a prosperous future. And we stand ready to provide our full support in every possible way. Today, the Gambia represents significant development opportunities through its demographic dividend, its agriculture, tourism, and service sectors, particularly the hospitality sector.
Momod Singate, the Director General of Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute, Yusuf Keita from the International Trade Center, and Fantafal, a graduate, all spoke about the significance of the center and how it will impact the lives of rural people. The Mansokonko Hospitality Training Center is a one-stop shop and gender-based violence support center. Such interventions in the rural areas will help close the unemployment gap and promote income generation avenues for young people. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
A woman believed to be over 100 years old has recounted her life story living in both the 20th and the 21st centuries. Salibaji lives in Tampoto village in the Fonyi Bintang Karonai district of the West Coast region. Here is Babikor Sise to tell us her story.
Although there is no official documentation to show that Sally is over 100 years old, her family says she was born in the 1920s when birth records in rural areas were not written. She has children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. According to health experts, eating right and exercising regularly are among factors that can prolong one's life. It appears farming and eating what they grow has contributed immensely to Sally's prolonged life.
At the time, we cultivated rice, and the men cultivated coos, millet, findi, and other crops. In those days, these were the crops we cultivated and ate. We don't eat rice regularly. The foods we consume regularly was coos, millet, and findi. And we would eat the rice we cultivated with our hands. Firstly, we would pound the coos and millet with a pestle and mortar till we fill big pans. Unlike this generation, where the majority of women don't know how to pound seeds because they don't go to the farm or do gardening. The only thing they do is to sit under the veranda.
Possibly born before the late Queen Elizabeth II of Britain, Sally remembers when Queen Elizabeth ascended the throne in 1952 after the death of her father, King George VI. She compares life under the Queen when the Gambia was a British colony to now.
Gambia was very nice during Queen Elizabeth's time because everything was cheap and available. I was living in Demban. Then after I got married, I left Demban with my husband to Bito village. In those days, a cup of sugar was 6 bottles and a box of matches was 2 bottles. Even one bonga of fish was 2 bottles. Our generation was very nice.
The old woman also remembers a dark period in the history of the Gambia, the attempted coup d'etat in 1981 to overthrow the government of Sadauda Kairaba Jawara.
We were at Bita village during Kuko's coup d'etat and we ran to Casamas to seek refuge at my uncle's house. We went there because that's where my children also went to seek refuge. We were at the farm when we heard the news of Kuko's coup. It was a serious one because many people lost their lives. It was a police officer who told us that we should run because people were being killed in Somita. So we fled when we heard that 3 people had already been killed in Somita.
Currently, the Guinness Book of World Records officially recognized Tomiko Ituka, a Japanese woman, as the world's oldest living person at age 116. She was born in 1908. Sally's husband, Mustafa, passed away 29 years ago. Since then, she has been a strong pillar in her family and community advising people about the good values and morals of society. Babukar Sise, QTV News.
From local, let's now take a look at international news in a moment. As the conflict in Sudan rages on, the UN is warning the warring parties against disregarding international law. This follows a report by UN's Human Rights Office accusing the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces and the Sudanese army of using sexual violence as a weapon of war. More in this report.
These allegations contained in the UN's latest report on the ongoing conflict in Sudan were made public on Monday at the 57th session of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva. The Sudan war is among a host of global issues, including political unrest, aggression on women's rights, being addressed by the Council. The report presented by the UN Human Rights Deputy High Commissioner Nada al-Nashif shines light on perhaps one of the most disturbing developments recorded since the conflict broke out in Sudan in April last year. The report also follows a request by UN-backed human rights investigators for the creation of an independent and impartial force to protect civilians in Sudan's war. They blame both sides for war crimes including murder, mutilation and torture, and warned foreign governments against arming and financing warring parties. Al-Nasif said the report reveals blatant disregard for international law on the part of both parties and called for restraint as well as urgent action to ensure the safety of women and girls, telling the Convergence, our office is particularly alarmed by the use since the beginning of the conflict of sexual violence as a weapon of war. We have documented 97 incidents involving 172 victims, predominantly women and girls, which is a gross underrepresentation of the reality. In their findings, independent UN-backed investigators accused the army and the paramilitary force of crimes against humanity, noting the consistent use of rape, sexual slavery, and persecution on ethnic or gender grounds. With thousands of lives already lost in the ongoing conflict, UN investigators and experts, as part of efforts to prevent the further loss of civilian lives, call for the expansion of an arms embargo on Sudan's long-restive Western Darfur region to the entire country. In December last year, the UN Security Council voted to end its political mission in the country under pressure from the military leadership. However, the situation has since escalated and civilians, particularly women and girls, have now become the latest targets as warring factions rain terror on them through the weaponization of sexual violence. So far, 15,000 people have reportedly been killed and more than 8.2 million have been displaced since the conflict began in April last year. And despite ongoing negotiations by the US and Saudi Arabia to help broker a peace deal, warring parties have yet to commit to a permanent deal. However, this latest report of the use of sexual violence as a weapon of war has garnered widespread international condemnation. Answana Sonyasi for KTV News.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we have for you in this news bulletin, but before we go, a recap of our main news headlines. Yankuba Colley, the former mayor of Kanifing Municipality, was laid to rest today, Monday the 16th of September. The former mayor died on Monday the 11th of September in Istanbul, Turkey, where he had been receiving medical treatment. At a day-long engagement on sustainable financing for tobacco control in the Gambia, some National Assembly members called for an embargo on tobacco importation in the country. With less than a week ago, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has renewed his call for more actions and reform to global government ahead of the much-anticipated summit of the future of the health to be held at the UN headquarters in New York. Lamin Colley, the commissioner of the Mobile Traffic Unit, has called on road users to follow basic road safety rules, interventions and precautions to prevent accidents on our roads. The International Trade Center and the United Nations Population Fund and partners officially inaugurated the Mansa Konko Hospitality Training Center. And finally, the Gambian woman believed to be over 100 years old has recounted her life story, living in both in the 20th and 21st centuries. Well, I'm afraid that's all we have for you. Join us again at 10 p.m. for more news. Thanks for watching.